And here now is Beardsley at the finish.
Dick, how do you feel?
I feel great. I feel very good. It was a super day to run a race. The conditions, you couldn't find any better conditions. A super course. I'd like to just thank Gillette. They put and everybody else involved in the race. They did a heck of a great job.
Did it go as you'd planned, as you'd anticipated?
Yeah, pretty much so. I wanted to try to make a move coming off of the London, or what's the main bridge there at halfway point?
Tower Bridge.
Tower Bridge. And then the Norwegian, we broke away from the other guys about 16 miles, and then it was just a duking out between me and him. He'd put in a surge and I'd put in a surge, trying to break each other. Then with about a half mile to go, we just kind of looked at each other and gave a wink, and it was, you know, it was just a good race. I'm very pleased.
Was that a deliberate gesture to try and cross the finishing line?
Yeah, it was. You know, we were just duking it out together the whole way, and for, you know, it was just one of those things that, you know, in the Olympics or something like that, then of course, but in a race like this, you know, there's another time to really duke it out at the end.
You were 6th in New York, weren't you? And this is your first marathon win now.
Yes, I was 9th in New York. And this is my 3rd marathon in 3 months now, so I'm going to take a break now.
And will you be back if there's another London Marathon next year?
I hope to be. It's a super event, and I think it's got nothing but future greatness in the whole situation, the whole race.
Well, Dick Beardsley talking there about the halfway stage at one point, and some still going through there. And out on Tower Bridge too is Desmond Lynham.
You're from Holland?
Yes.
How many marathons have you run?
I have 12 marathons in 1 year.
Yeah.
But I am a little bit ill on the knee.
Oh dear, the knee's gone, yeah. Well, you've got 13 miles to go at this stage. Do you think you can make it? Eh?
I was 65 kilo.
Yeah.
First month I was 19.
Oh, good luck.
But a good marathon, plenty people.
Yeah.
Good.
Good luck.
Okay.
So he goes on his way, and meanwhile back with the runners completing the distance. Joyce Smith there in Parliament Square, the leading girl, and she is very, very close to the British record. She's got to break 2 hours 30 really, in which case she could be among the world's leading lady athletes ever over this distance, in 2nd or 3rd place. As she goes through, we go back now to Desmond Lynham.
Can I run with you for a few yards? Can I? Yeah. Do you really love London?
Yes.
That's what it says on your thing.
Yes.
Despite that. How many marathons have you run before?
None.
Really? How do you feel so far?
A bit heavy in the legs.
Really?
Yes.
But mentally stable, I hope.
Yes, because the crowd's been great and they keep on cheering you as you come up.
Are you going to finish?
I aim to.
I'm tired. Bye.
Well, there's about 13 painful miles left there. But for Joyce Smith in the pack, it's just a matter of about half a mile. Member of the Barnet Club. And I know she really is hoping to beat 2.5 hours. Plus they're picking up some of the walking wounded, but in fact not being used much. And one of the remarkable things about this marathon, we've not seen many people dropping out so far. They really are staying the pace well.
Actually, Joyce Smith is running with 2 former Welsh Commonwealth athletes. Bernie Hayward's in there, Clive Thomas, and I don't suppose any of these men would begrudge her her place. She's coming up to the finish now, pushed all the way by former track internationals. There's Bernie Hayward pushing her, and she's being cheered all the way. Marvellous run, chasing a time of 2 hours 30:27. John Disley cheering her in, the coordinator of the race, cheering her there up to the line. A magnificent run. And she's bettered it. She's bettered it. 2:29, just inside 2:30. A new Commonwealth best for Joyce Smith. In magnificent form.
John Disley there, the course director, just channeling Joyce Smith towards the ladies' funnel. The ladies have a separate finishing area to keep them their race separate from the men. Gillian Drake from New Zealand in 2nd place. And here now is Joyce Smith at the finish.
I'll let you get your breath. Terrific.
Thank you.
How do you feel?
Tired. But the crowds, they're fantastic. They were. They lifted me at the end, all the way through.
And what about the time? Inside 2.5 hours?
I think I just squeezed in.
Just.
Yeah.
Magnificent.
So, third to go inside 2:30. British record.
British record, personal best, a terrific achievement. Did it go as you planned? Did you have a policy?
No, I was just going to run, but I got afraid. I got carried away.
You got sucked along, did you?
Yeah. I got carried away faster than I wanted to at the beginning and just kept going.
That the third fastest time ever by a marathon runner in the world. 2 minutes 29, 2 hours 29 minutes 56 seconds, and Joyce finished in 138th place. The astonishing thing about this race is how many people who are normally just joggers are staying the course so well. They've mostly started sensibly, didn't commit themselves too early, and we're going to have a lot of finishers. Roger Bourbon, the waiter from Los Angeles, with just about 3 miles to go. He's going under Tarbridge in a moment, and on top is Desmond Lynham.
Excuse me a second. Would you like to share my umbrella for a little jog?
Certainly.
Yeah. How do you feel so far?
Well, I'm a bit tired.
Yeah. Where do you come from?
I come from America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you done the New York Marathon?
No, I haven't. This is actually my first marathon.
What made you come over here for this one?
Well, it was the first one, and I thought it would be quite exciting to do so.
Yeah. Yeah. And how do you feel so far then?
Well, I'm coming up to halfway point, I think, but I intend to finish it up.
You've got, I think, about 7,300 in front of you.
I know. My point is just to finish.
Good, marvelous.
That's my goal.
Nice to have you here. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Goodbye.
He's got 13.5 miles to go. These have just got a matter of yards now. But the astounding thing, Gillian Adams on the right of the picture, the astounding thing, and it must be surprising Brendan Foster as well, is the good condition in which athletes are finishing. And this really is a breakthrough in every sense for fitness running in this country, Brendan.
Well, I think this event today is historic in our sport because I think it's going to precipitate a running boom alongside the one in America. And it's quite frightening that the effect that this particular race can have, and I just hope that we in the sport can handle it.
We make Gillian Adams third in the women's race, and her time 2 hours 40 minutes 43. Leslie Watson on the way through, but she's some way to go yet.
Leslie Watson, of course, better known as an ultra-marathon runner. She runs 100 kilometres, twice this distance. She's on target for a personal best time. Many people expected her to do better than this, but she's around 2 hours 45 and on target for that. Leslie Watson, again in good Welsh company, being cheered on. 2:48.22, maybe just below her personal best time. But as David Coleman was saying, they're looking so magnificent at the finish.
Horace Cutler having a word, leader of the GLC. Desmond Lynham having a word with Ted Peacock.
Is it Edward?
Yeah.
I thought it was Edward Peacock, isn't it? Yeah, we had you on the list.
Yeah.
How do you feel so far?
Oh, not so good. Well, nothing's happening that size of season up.
Is it? Really?
Yeah, I'm a bit under-trained. It's not my time of the year for a marathon.
Not your time of the year. When would you normally like to run the marathon?
Oh, about August or September.
Better in August. You'll be building for one then.
Yeah.
Well, you're getting tremendous applause from the crowd, aren't you?
Oh, yeah.
How old are you, sir? 73 and a very hearty one. Congratulations.
Well, he's on his way to try and complete his 28th marathon. This is the late starter, Pat Wright from St Albans. Started some 20 minutes behind the field, or the leaders. But looking fresher, I must say, at 30 miles than she did at 6. Snap Booth of Eton Manor with a spot of trouble. He's about 56 and he's done 2 hours 54 previously. He's going to be close to that today, but he's making sure he gets there. Some 5 minutes outside his best time, but finishing really is winning. And the presentation coming up now to the two men who ran it out together, hand in hand. On the far side, Dick Beardsley, United States of America, and Inga Simonsen of Norway. Their joint winning time, 2 hours, 11 minutes, 48 seconds. Chris Brasher, the man whose idea all this was, and who's combined with his fellow Olympic steeplechaser John Disley to stage it. I must say, as Chris is coming through these cheering crowds, he must be remembering something he wrote after the New York Marathon when he ran there and came back with this idea. He said nearly 2,000 years ago, Paul saw a vision on the road to Damascus. And in a sense, that's what Chris Brasher has seen in staging this race. Joyce Smith confirmed as the winner of the ladies' event. Her time, 2 hours, 29 minutes, 56 seconds. A new British record. Some 3 hours after the start, and still they stream in.
Incidentally, David, Chris Brasher's managed to produce a lifetime best after all that organisation, and we know for a fact he was up, what, 4 o'clock this morning at least. And here's a young man in a bit of trouble, but boy, they're being cheered every inch of the way.
Well, this is Robin Thompson from Chesham Boys in Buckinghamshire, running his first marathon, and really only determination is driving him forward. As he turns this corner, well, there's the whole spirit of the race really being reflected by the crowd, who are driving him forward. You can see the finishing line, but it's some 120, 130 yards away.
Fred Lebow said to me yesterday, to finish a marathon is like reaching for the impossible dream, and some people here have got that. And there in the field is Dave Bedford. He's having a lot of trouble in this particular race. Former world record holder for 10,000 metres. And 3 miles away from the finish, and I'm sure Dave will get back started again.
Poor Robin Thompson in desperate trouble. And really in a friendly marathon like this, look at the competitors all encouraging him. And there's no reason why he shouldn't be helped on his way. But is he going to make it? Marvellous, and not a bad time either. Just over 3 hours, 2 minutes. A remarkable effort, and the way fun runners have responded to this, well, surprises even the best.
Well, they're bringing a respectability to other than winning races, and that's very, very important for the future development of our sport.
Roger Bourbon, the running waiter, finishing just over 3 hours, which I think may well be a personal best.
Interesting that David Bedford should run into his wall at about 23 miles. We're sure he hasn't done a lot of training. He just turned up for this as a fun run in the spirit of the thing. Marvellous the way some are managing to survive, but her legs will give out. Cramp is beginning to take its toll.
Peter Duncan from Blue Peter just being out-sprinted, but he's gone well as well. 3 hours 12, respectability. And meanwhile, the oldest man in the race is just crossing Tower Bridge.
Well, we saw you on Sports Night last Wednesday. Has it gone according to plan, Bob?
No, not exactly. I'm a little bit below what I was hoping to do.
Why is that?
Well, unfortunately, I'm above my distance for one thing.
What's your normal distance?
6 to 7 miles.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I've got this pain in my groin.
Have you?
Yeah, maybe I didn't start too fast or something, I don't know.
You set off a bit quick, did you?
I think I did that.
Yeah.
Because my groin's hurting, so the only way I can finish now is walking.
Only the second man we've seen in real trouble. And he is in desperate trouble. And he is within sight of the finish, too. Sympathetic words of encouragement. We're back now among athletes who are around the 3,000 mark. It's the Gateshead treasurer, a member of Brendan Foster's club, helping that sorely tried athlete on his way, and he's done the impossible to get up again.
Well, anyone who asks why they did it, if they just see the spirit as they approach the finish, they certainly got the answer to that one.
There's the blind competitor, Dennis Moore, now 50, with his helping hand from Wally Scott, who's 58, and running his 10th marathon. And that struggling competitor up in front has managed to finish. Not a helping hand there.
I think it's Douglas McKeith being helped on. He's got a competitor who must be 20 years his senior, helping him along. And he's got a massive crowd support. Really, they have made this day. And there's J.P.R. Williams. He said he came in a moment of idiocy. Look at him, he's a stocky mesomorph, not designed for marathon running at all. And here he is approaching the finish. He's carried out the 26.2 miles, and he's done well.
Well, I would think that will give JPR as much satisfaction as most of his record number of Welsh caps. And what a sportsman he is too, of course. He's played tennis for Wales, and also I think he's a county squash player too. And Jimmy Savile on the way. The finish in sight. He's got about 50 yards to go, and if he finishes, he raises some £50,000 for Stoke Mandeville. Marvellous this in the year of the disabled, and Jimmy acting it up, helped on his way by Horace Cutler. And the clock stops at just under 4 hours 12.
Listen, I've given plenty of Jim will fix it badges away. It's the first time I ever got one back like this.
How did it go for you?
It would have been okay if somebody hadn't moved Buckingham Palace. Yesterday, Buckingham Palace was about 11 miles the other way, and somebody during the night has moved it. And also, I was suffering under a handicap because when they saw me coming, they put Tower Bridge up, and I had to jump across like Starsky and Hutch. Other than that, what a fantastic day.
How much have you raised, do you think, for Stoke Mandeville?
Well, God willing, by now, having just finished, about £50,000.
Terrific.
Well, it spurred me on when all else was lost. Actually, to tell a lie, a most pleasant day.
No low moments? No time when you thought you wouldn't finish?
No, none whatsoever. In fact, over the last 5 miles, I was able to turn it on a bit so I could get back in some reasonable time. I think you overcompensate by going a bit slow first, and then you wish you hadn't gone slow. So it's just one of those things, but a great workout. You know, I'm actually not used to these short distances. Johnny Groats Land's End, yes, but a 26 and a bit mile sprint, that's the way it goes.
Jimmy, terrific.
Thank you, and God bless everybody.
Well done, Jim. Well, they started at 9 o'clock, 5 hours, 16 minutes on. And on the way, the road's opened out of traffic, and on the way, garlanded, and keeping warm, 64 years old Madge Sharples, the oldest British lady competitor, and she looks like finishing. And meanwhile, an ambulance is at the finish as one or two injured competitors limp through. Oh, Madge looks in good form, Brendan.
Well, she's certainly captured the spirit of the marathon, and that's what it's all about. Dick Quack said that in a track race, all they get is an elbow. In a marathon race, you get encouragement, and she's certainly had encouragement, and she's certainly captured today.
Absolutely untroubled. And what encouragement the spectators have given the athletes. Well, let's see if we can talk to Madge.
Madge, congratulations, that's terrific. Under 5.5 hours, you pleased?
Absolutely thrilled, thank you.
Any breaks?
Not breaks, no, just aches.
Aches?
In the knees, but I can still do our knees up, mother, round, so it's not so bad.
You'll get a taste for this sport now, won't you?
Rather. I'm going to run in the Finlandia in May, possibly the Chelmsley Wood.
Terrific, Madge.
Well, there's the oldest man coming through, and he's got to finish. Been on the road 6.25 hours. And Bob Wiseman completes the course. 78 years old. The clock actually has stopped in the wrong place. It's a bit slower than that, but who cares? So we look back now on these athletes finishing, and we've seen Born in London today what is surely destined to become one of the great events in British sport. And we've seen, too, the complete fulfilment of the old Olympic dream, a race in which to take part really is more important than to win.
predictably, the 1982 Gillette London Marathon was going to attract a huge entry. But we never thought that over 93,000 people would want to enter. We could only accept with our organisation, we thought 14,000. Under pressure, we increased that to 16 and then to 18. And that's what we took, 18,060 people. Now, we could have never done this without tremendous assistance, particularly from the Greater London Council, their staff and their officers, from the Metropolitan Police, our dedicated sponsors who work so hard, and thousands of volunteers. To them, our heartfelt thanks. But really, above all, this race is about courage and determination. And there's one couplet of Browning that I would like to quote you. Ah, that a man's reach should exceed his grasp, or what's a heaven for? This year, thousands of people who never ever believed that they could run the ultimate athletic distance, the marathon, have actually done so. They've grasped out to the unattainable, they've attained it, and they've achieved their heaven.
This, the largest marathon field ever assembled anywhere in the world, and facing a journey through the streets of London that takes in the heart of Dockland, as well as some of the tourist attractions that abound in this great city. There are two starting points on either side of Blackheath, which over 3 centuries ago was the burial ground for victims of the Great Plague, but this morning alive with the thousands whose imagination and enthusiasm has been caught. Tony Gubber talks to some of them.
We've done up to 20 miles as a horse, so we're hoping for about 3.25 hours today.
Did you get round last year, did you?
Yeah, all the way. But we had to pack the horse into a rucksack and carry it between us. This year we're going to keep together.
You're trying to stay in this formation all the way around, are you?
Yeah.
I see you've got your watch on the front here. What's the purpose of this?
It's to keep time. We try and get through the 10, about 70 minutes, and then see how we go from there.
Best of luck. It looks like a very uncomfortable contraption to me. Let's move along to the old man at the back. Whose idea was this?
Well, we decided, this is London, so we'll give you a bit of a swirl, We're from Wolverhampton, a happy town.
It's about 3 times longer than I've ever run, so I'm a little bit apprehensive. But I've been in hard training. I'm down to 5 pints of lager a night now. And I've been loading the carbohydrates, as all the coaches advised. The only trouble is I've been doing it since about a week before Christmas.
The starting gun, manned by men of the Royal Artillery, a 25-pounder. And the athletes wait for the signal to start their journey of 26 miles, 385 yards. Away they go. The elite men and the elite women who are joined by first-time male marathon runners, known as the Virgin Men. Joyce Smith just on the edge of shot, the women's favourite going very quickly away, and the men's pack has really gone off very, very quickly. These elite athletes are followed by men who have run a marathon before.
The second Gillette London Marathon well and truly underway, and it really has taken our capital city by storm. This has surely taken over from the boat race, even from Derby Day, with 18,000 runners, 3,000 helpers, and up to 500,000 supporters. And those supporters may well prove significant to those tail-enders, the fun runners. 51% of these competitors have never run a marathon before. 1,600 teachers, 1,400 engineers, 290 unemployed. The favourite out in front, Hugh Jones, incidentally. 52 retired workers, 33 stockbrokers, and way at the back, they're only at a walk, and that's good. Remember me? Indeed, I think we can from last year. Les Bainham from Southend. And many of them here just for the spirit of the occasion. And many have asked why, and I suppose it's because man's greatest moment of happiness may be to be tested. There's Jimmy Savile, tested beyond what he thought might be his breaking point and not fail. And there'll be no failures today, just to make the 26 miles, 385 yards. And there's no loneliness of the long-distance runner here. It's about camaraderie and friendship. It really is. Bernie Clifton there, the comedian, with Oswald, the ostrich, on his way. And thousands of pounds, surely, will be raised for charity. Most of these people running not just for themselves, but for others as well. On the bike there, Frank Evans, 54. his own form of transport, keeping out of the way, chatting all the way. He'll keep a few hearts going. And these two great prongs of runners about to join up.
They run the first 2.5 miles on separate courses and then join on a dual carriageway, where they run on either side of the dual carriageway for the next 1.5 miles up to 4 miles, and then the whole field joins. Hugh Jones and Grenville Tuck already setting a tremendous pace. They've broken away from the pack, and they really are going very quickly indeed. Bill Thornton in the wheelchair, given special permission to start, paralysed when he was shot by terrorists in Cyprus, and accompanied by 2 of his friends, both local government officers from St Albans. And that is the point where the women's elite pack and the first-time male marathon runners join up with the fast and experienced runners. That's after 2.5 miles. The leader's already well on the way, and the time for the 2 leaders at 2 miles was very quick, just over 9 minutes 40 seconds. A late starter, Tony Smith, a policeman from Bala. The stately lines of the Cutty Sark, the fastest T-clipper in history. And that is just beyond the 6 miles mark, and Hugh Jones and Grenville Tuck both well away. Tuck, one of the twins from Aldershot, Jones, of course, from Rainley Harriers, and Bob Wiseman. He's covered 1.5 miles, the second oldest competitor at 79. That's John Drew, a journalist. He's 69 from Canterbury Veterans. Beverly Estanio with him, keeping him company. And meanwhile at Cutty Sark, the field beginning to go through. Dahl of Norway in 3rd place, and then come some Americans. Jeff Wells, McCary is there as well. Pick Grattan from Invicta. Zach Kariasen of Denmark is also there. And the field beginning to split already. Meanwhile, back at the start, the road now once more open to traffic. Magnificent organisation. And the athletes through in each start in about 7 or 8 minutes. 9,000 of them in each start.
Joy Smith in the middle of that pack, and she will be cheered every inch of the way. Joy Smith from Barnet, from Watford area, who's been an international for more than 20 years. She's got stern opposition from a couple of very good New Zealand girls, including Lorraine Muller, unbeaten over this distance for 3 years. When they met last time, although Joyce won. Oh, there's Roger Bourbon. Remember him, the waiter, carrying that all the way round, going for a new record this year. And here's Hugh Jones, 26 now, at the Tower, a graduate of Liverpool University, who lives at the moment in Budapest.
Actually, Hugh Jones got away just after 8 miles, and that's Superman going through. Marcus Simpkins is a student at the University of Sussex. Bernie Clifton happily approaching 6 1/4 miles. Thoroughly enjoying himself, but what about the footwear? Well, Hugh Jones well on his way. He's a minute clear of Zachariasen of Denmark in 2nd place. 3rd is Dahl of Norway. And Zachariasen has gone the wrong way. And Dahl takes 20-30 metres out of the day. What desperate luck. Albert Gordon, the oldest competitor, a millionaire banker from America. Approaching Tower Bridge. Now this is just under 13 miles. And Hugh Jones, already exempted by the British Amateur Athletic Board from competing in the trial race for the Commonwealth Games and the European Championships, well, he's proved those selectors to be right, because he's run right away from this field. There are the leaders. Jones leading, Zachariasen now back in 2nd, Dahl 3rd, Mick Grattan 4th, Coppers of America 5, McCary 6, and Jeff Wells 7. Thousands pounding their way over Tower Bridge, and we're looking now for the first woman, and it is Joy Smith, going very easily and going very fast. She ran a very fast time through the Cutty Sark area, and she's still going very quickly.
Hugh Jones in the Isle of Dogs, and although not very well known, many of his good marathons out of this country, he is the reigning 3A's marathon champion. I think that car being